So let's get started. Okay, first things first, I did talk a little bit about cells, but here's the deal, is that when we change the flow of energy in the body down to the mitochondria and into the DNA and into the actual genetic expression, we can absolutely change the body and how it can heal itself, how it can repair itself, and help us to function at a youthful age again, like we're young again. And that's really what this is about. And it's incredible when you learn the basic foundation of what this is doing. As soon as you wear this little patch, is that you're going to have what I like to just call a glow up, where your body's going to start acting young again. It literally comes back alive and starts acting youthful again. So if you think about why we might want to wear something like this, well, think about, what's happening. Are we aging too fast? Heck yes, we are. By the age of 30, half of our stem cell activity has gone dormant. And by the age of 60 and 70, it's almost completely dormant, which means we don't have the same ability to repair, rebuild, and regenerate. And this is why we're prematurely aging. And this is why we're taking a million supplements and a million different drugs and slapping all kinds of stuff on our hair and on our skin and on our face. And we're injecting ourselves with all kinds of growth factors and stem cells to try to combat this premature aging that's happening, because we're not able to regenerate ourselves. Look at nature, look at our animals. I mean, they're regenerating better than we are. So why is this? Because of dirty air, dirty water, dirty food, all of that. But then, of course, the very things that we're taking to try to combat this can also have all kinds of different side effects as well. But if you just think about, are you taking things for waking up, for having energy through your day, for going back to sleep, for pain and inflammation? What about for the mood? If you're depressed or anxious or panicky or those different things, right? All kind of tension. What about memory? What about pain in the body? I think I already mentioned pain and inflammation. We're taking things to help us to work out and get better recovery. We're taking things to help build more collagen or just eating more collagen. We're putting stuff on our face to try to look younger. We're injecting our body with really, really expensive growth factors and stem cells, just all kinds of different things. Platelet-rich plasma. We're trying to get our youth back. We're trying to regenerate our stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So clearly we know there's a problem. But what if really we could turn the clock back and we could get the body doing what it's meant to do? Because your body's meant to do all of these things all by itself. And that's really what we are talking about here today. So again, the fewer stem cells that we have, the faster we're going to age and the slower we're going to heal. And that's what we're seeing. So this little activation patch, it looks like a little Band-Aid. It has a little backing on it. And when I take the backing off, this is half of it off. You put it on your body, you wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and it has nanocrystals inside. It doesn't actually put anything into your skin, but what it does is it traps your body heat. It's really actually light. We are all energy. We are all light, frequency, and vibration, right? So this light, this heat gets trapped and hits these crystals, very specific blend of crystals that then reflects back to the skin a very specific frequency. It's not electric, don't worry, but it's a very specific frequency that instantly signals your body to produce a tripeptide. Kind of like when you go out in the sun, you get your sunlight and your body is triggered to make vitamin D and many other things that we need for healthy living. It's very similar, except that we weren't making these peptides, and they are literally, as we lower in these peptides in the body, it's exactly tied to our stem cell activity, and this is what's happening. So this little patch stimulates the production of more of those peptides. Therefore, a couple of big things happen. The first thing is that a third of your genome, about 4,000 genes, are reset to about age 20, a younger, healthier state. So all of those cells that are affected by the genes, some of them are switched on that were dysregulated the wrong direction, and some were switched off that were dysregulated the other direction. They come back into a youthful state, and your body starts acting young again, and it starts having the ability to do the things it was meant to do at about age 20. So this tripeptide is called GHK, copper peptides. So that's one thing that happens, but it also wakes up and reactivates those dormant stem cells I was talking about, wakes them up so that they start to go out, attracted to whatever is happening in your specific body that's been breaking down, because we're all unique. We all have different thinking that also dysregulates our genes. Again, the things that we eat, that we are not eating, the water, all the stuff, right, that's making us age too fast. happens to each of us according to our own way of breaking down. And so your body will start to build up in its own way. Those stem cells get activated when you wear this patch. So it's really exciting. Just those two main things, resetting the genes and activating those stem cells, can do some incredible things in the body. And honestly, these copper peptides are known as the holy grail of anti-aging. And David Schmidt, who we'll talk about, who created these, he spent 10 years figuring out which nanocrystals to put in this little patch in order to get it to work like this. He knew very forward thinking, that this is what it would do. And then, of course, he heavily patented it. So yeah, it's a pretty incredible product. And it also took him about, I don't know, I think it was about $4.5 or $5 million to do it as well. So this is no gimmick, I promise you. So I've already mentioned what it does. This is kind of just like a, step-by-step of what it's doing. Again, it just reflects back a very specific frequency from the body heat, or from that infrared spectrum from your body heat. And it tells your body to produce this GHK, which binds to the copper immediately in the body and produces those, all of that activity and that reset of your genome. So this is known as phototherapy. Also, a fancier name for this is called photobiomodulation, basically modulating your body, your physiology with light. And this is not any new science. People have been using light therapies and frequencies forever, including even sound frequencies. And you don't have to change your lifestyle or anything in order to use it. So like I said, 12 hours on, you just stick it in either these two locations or really anywhere in the body. Nearby, if you have a painful knee or something, you can put it close to that. It's fine. It interacts with your skin. It doesn't have to be on these points. The points that we have here on this image are just standardized places where we do all of our studies with other patches. And so they're just here as a standard, but this is not where you have to wear them. But it's a good starting place. So when you wear it for 12 hours on and you take it off, you then take a rest with no patch on for 12 hours. This allows your body to not get used to producing too much. It's just like the sun. You don't want to have all sun and no darkness. It's just a natural rhythm to have it on and off and allow your body to regulate. And then you just put a fresh one on each day. And the main key here is that, yes, you want to drink lots and lots of water. Very important. We are made up of so much water. And that actually is what the crystalline structure of your DNA is. And so we're really getting down to that root, and we really want to have lots and lots of fresh water. And your body will also begin to release the things it doesn't need as it starts acting younger again. And definitely look it up, is GHK, which is what goes up when you wear this patch. That's what's being signaled, which immediately binds to the copper in your body. So it's important to make sure you're taking enough copper. We recommend copper glycinate. It's just 2 to 4 milligrams a day, just to make sure you have enough circulating. A lot of people are taking a lot of zinc these days, and zinc, if you're taking a lot of zinc, will actually lower your copper content. But GHK and GHK copper peptides are what are clinically shown to go up, directly tied to those universal stem cells, those pluripotent stem cells, again, that can become anything in the body. And that's really the magic of this patch. So it's reactivating your stem cells. The first thing that happens is an immediate effect of an elevation of antioxidants, in particular glutathione, which is one of our master antioxidants, super important to getting the toxic stuff out of our cells. Again, why you want to drink a lot of water. And also a decrease in inflammation. Most of us have systemic inflammation, chronic systemic inflammation, but you might also have acute inflammation. So how that may show up for you, it could be dramatic, immediate pain relief, and it may not be. So it just depends on your own body, but we do know that there's a decrease in inflammation, and that can show up in many, many different ways. More energy is really common. Be looking for that, and it's also very, very often like almost immediate, that sense of more energy. Better sleep. Deeper, longer sleep. Pay attention to dreaming. That means you're getting into that deep recovery sleep, and that's a fantastic sign of that as well. So that also can happen very, very quickly. I mentioned already dramatic pain relief. This could happen as expected or not. So please hang tight with that. If you're expecting your knee pain to go away, but your body wants to heal something else first, and you start sleeping better and you have more, energy, and all these other things are happening, pay attention to that. In fact, we have a health tracker that we give to people that really helps you to see all the different parameters of things that can change and that will change over time as you use this patch. And so you really want to be looking at that, because if you don't get the exact result that you're expecting, but some 5 other things are happening, we want you to see that your body is working on this on its own repair and healing and regenerating. And so you want to be patient with that and see how that shows up for you. Wrinkle reduction and scar reduction are both really exciting. So an increase in collagen in the body. I mean, people are taking collagen. They're doing all kinds of things to not only internally, but to help with the skin, right? So what we find is that activating universal cells leads to this increase in the collagen in the skin, which decreases, of course, the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and all kinds of things. This is noticeable over time, especially 4 to 12 weeks, and continues to get better. The scar reduction as well. This is these universal cells, they lead to a what's called remodeling. It's the last phase of wound healing. It's called remodeling. And you might notice old scars that from a long time ago that start to soften and actually lighten and go through their final stage of healing after years and years and years. And this would also count for internal. Same with the collagen. It's the most abundant protein in the body. It's throughout the body. So if it's showing up on the skin, at the level of the largest organ in the body, you can imagine what's happening also internally. So the wrinkle reduction, scar reduction, to me, even though they're a little bit different, those are things you can watch for and take pictures, before and after pictures, of the front of your face, your neck, any of the scars on your body, the sides, whatever you want to take pictures of. I highly recommend that when you get started. Sports performance is huge, especially as you get older, because again, we have less and less recovery happening when we're getting older. So this is where, gosh, talk about noticing, feeling like you're 20 again. So the older you are, you'll feel it even more, but the performance before, during, and after exercise is so improved. Wound healing is another, I mean, this is what stem cells are all about, right? We're talking 3 times faster wound healing when you're using the patch. We have clinical research that shows that this dramatic increase of wound healing, again, because these stem cells are producing the growth factors that are basically the signals that tell your body to heal and to produce more, fresh cells and so on. I'll tell you, the older that we get, you'll notice how slow, if people are healing at all, especially as we get elderly, and you see on the skin and the bruises and the cuts that just don't want to heal. This is going to be a huge factor. And again, make sure you're taking that copper as well. Youth renewal and age reversal. This has to do with that gene reset. I mean, we're talking going back to 20 years old, worth a third of your genes are going to start acting like you're a kid again, practically, or a young adult. And so that's really, really huge. And we call that youth renewal, where we're actually looking at much better health and vitality and rewriting these genes. Also, there's biomarkers in the heart and heart rate variability and many different things that really show this reversal of aging as well, which again, the longer you use it, the better it gets. So many other things can show up, of course, in the skin and so on. There's so many different testimonies. And then the last thing I want to say, which I think is the most exciting, is what this can do from a neurological standpoint and what it does for your nervous system and your brain. In terms of cognition improving, of course, all kinds of neurochemistry that comes into a balance, which is also helping our sleep and so on. But it helps with the mood. It brings down and it kind of brings into a balance the autonomic nervous system. So that fight, flight, freeze response versus a nice, calm, relaxing response of the parasympathetic. So that sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic come into a balance. And just know that when you're in fight, flight, or freeze, you can't heal. You're not happy. It's hard to be creative when you're in that stress state. So we're trying to move from fear to love, and stress is fearful, and it puts us in a not a healing state. So just to know that you can come into more of a balance by using this patch from that standpoint, from the nervous system, is really huge. It also helps with heart rate variability, brain heart coherence, all of these different cognition, memory, things like that. So you can have all these benefits in so many other ways that this can show up. This is just what our science is showing. But my gosh, again, it's so unique for each person, because each person breaks down in their own unique way. Your innate ability to heal your own body is what we're helping to restore. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your attention tonight. Have a great rest of your evening.